Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another Up to Summit video. As you can see, nice views around here. Today we're going to be doing a little walk up Ilkley Moor. We're going to go to the 12 Apostles, and then we're also going to go to the Cow and Calf Rock. Just over there in the distance you can see Ilkley and Ilkley Shevin. We're starting to put in a bit of climbing already. Don't know if you can see that, but it's actually still a bit frosty here. There we go, first little bit of climbing done. I'm absolutely knackered. Quite a pull up there, and we're going to go all the way just up over there. It's pretty wet underfoot here. I'm glad I've got my boots on. As you can see, or should I say as you can't see, we'll go somewhere up this way. I don't know this route exactly, but I know it's somewhere in this direction. It's a bit tricky to see with the sun in my eyes though, so hopefully we're on the right track. This is really muddy as this stuff. So the highest point on the whole of Ilkley Moor, which I'm not sure we'll quite reach today, is 402 metres, which is just over 1,300 feet. So you can do a fair bit of a climb up here. It's a lovely day, blue skies, pretty much almost everywhere. Let's see if we can get a little viewpoint from this rock. Sorry about the wind in advance. This sun is just so blinding. I can just make out the silhouette of a post that I'm heading towards, but if they want that there, I would be absolutely blind. There you go, not sure if you can see that. That's a plane setting off from Leeds Bradford Airport, which nicely brings us on to the next part of the video. Flying objects, more specifically UFOs. There actually has been a UFO sighting up here, well multiple, but one in particular. I think it was back in 1987. There was a retired police officer. He was going on a walk across Ilkley Moor when he came across a 4-foot tall green creature. He described it to have oversized arms and an oversized head. The police officer actually managed to get a picture on his camera of this green creature. That's the little tarn we're heading down to, and then we're going to go along the top and up to the 12 Apostles. He then recalls that the alien was telling him to go away, like waving his hand at him. After the alien gestured him to go away, he saw the alien run off into the fog, so he decided to follow it until he saw it get into some sort of white UFO, and then it flew away, accompanied by a loud humming noise. Then he decided to carry on with his route. Eventually he reached where he was planning to get to. The only thing was, he was there 2 hours later than he had planned, which was a bit strange. And then also his compass was pointing in completely the opposite direction to what it should have, which obviously seemed a bit weird as well. After the images were released, apparently 2 men in black from the Ministry of Defence arrived at the man's house, telling him to be silent about the situation. Whether that's true or not is unconfirmed, but if it is, then that surely adds some credibility to his sighting. There we go, we're onto this nice easy track now, which takes us all the way up to the 12 Apostles. But we are pushing it a bit for time here because the Cow and Calf rocks are all the way down that side and the sun is going down that side. Back to the alien story though. A wildlife photographer looked at the image and said that is no known creature, and the experts at Kodak, the camera company, they said they could find no evidence that it had been tampered with. After regressive hypnotherapy from a doctor to try help him remember the incident, he recalled that he was instantly paralyzed, and then he was lifted up into a spaceship or UFO where there's a group of green aliens who performed medical tests on him, inserting stuff into his mouth and into his nose. And once they had completed their medical experiments, they showed him 2 films. The first film was an apocalypse showing nuclear explosions, famine and floods. The second one, well, he never actually said anything about the second one. He said the aliens did not want humanity to know, and if you're a believer, it's quite mysterious and weird and creepy, almost scary. Or you could just put it down to this guy was off his head and he made it up for a bit of publicity. I'll let you decide on that one. What's crazy to think is that 325 million years ago, this is a sea level swamp area fed by the rivers from up north. Obviously it's changed quite a lot since then, but it's not just time and the natural causes of Earth that have changed this moorland. In 2006 there was one of many fires that there has been on Ilkley Moor. This one was one of the biggest ones and was said to have destroyed between a quarter and half of the moorland. The firefighters who attended the scene said the flames were 6 feet high. You'd think after that people had learned the lessons, they wouldn't come up here and put themselves at risk of causing a fire of that magnitude. But back in 2019 was probably the most recent fire, and in turn this led to them introducing a ban across the moorlands to have fires and barbecues or set off fireworks, basically anything that might cause the moorland to set on fire. We're just approaching the highest point we're going to go to on this walk, which is the 12 Apostles, and this is all over the other side of the valley to what we were looking earlier. So down there you got Bradford, Keighley over there. The sun is absolutely lovely. It's a shame I'm going to lose it after I drop off the other side of this hill. It's really weird footpath is this. It's almost like sand. I'm sure there's some sort of explanation for it. And here we are, you can just see the tops of the stones. Let's get closer and I'll show you a bit more of it. This is the 12 Apostles. Although it's not quite the Stonehenge, it is actually nearly as old as it, dating back to the Bronze Age, which is between 2300 and 700 BC. Now only 12 stones, but once between 16 and 20 they stand in a circle with a diameter of 15 metres. By the mid-20th century, all the stones were lying loose on the ground, but as you can see, since then they have been re-erected. Although no one is certain of the purpose of these stones, many believe they were used to find out when the seasons were changing to know when best to plant crops. And now we just need to carry on down here and then we'll reach the Cow and Calf rocks eventually, if I can remember the right way to go, because I haven't brought a route with me. We're just kind of freestyling this. What a view though, you can't really see it that well on the camera unfortunately, but just over to the hills up over there, I believe, up towards Skipton, straight in front. I'm not sure quite where, just to the right is. My plan was to kind of get a bit of almost a jog on down here, but these are so slippy, but at least it gives me time to enjoy the view. The question is, how dark is it going to be by the time we get down to the Cow and Calf rocks? And are you going to be able to see them at all, or are you just going to see a dark, blurry image? Try avoid going right through that. Don't really want wet feet. Kind of annoying because if you do this walk at sunset time in summer instead of winter, you get a lovely sunset just over there, and you can actually sit on top of Cow and Calf rocks and watch the sunset. I have just nearly completely decked it on that, like fully like cartoon, like where someone goes swinging back with their arms. That was a close one. I'm just gonna have to take it a bit steadier. It's so slippy here. It must be because the sun's not got to it as much. Nice little waterfall. There you go, you've got Ilkley down there. What a lovely view. There you go, that's what I just stood up on. That's the cow. That's the calf. And you can see how big that one is. And you can see this one's a lot smaller. I'm going to go stand next to it so you can see the difference. Apparently there used to actually be another one, which was the bull, but then it got quarried and made into a hotel somewhere down in Ilkley. Look at the size on that though, compared to that one again, just for reference. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, leave a sub. I'll catch you in the next one.